Hello everyone, welcome to this Ultimate Good playthrough. We're going to start this off right from the beginning of the game. This is a battle that you have to come into contact with, and you're going to try and help this guy. By not killing him and helping him, he's actually going to transform into this big monster here. And so we just have to go ahead and kill this monster. He has this primary attack where he's gonna walk forward, so just don't let him trample over you. And he's gonna wind up and fire breathe here. So you just gotta keep stepping back, keep hitting them. Here's the fire breath, but he'll never hit the edge of the screen, and then he backs up to give you space. This is the very first boss after all, so it's not pushing too much on you right away. And you're just gonna keep hitting them and kill them. Now we're gonna move on down to Darsov. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to want to enter the chapel. It's on the farther left side of Darsov. The chapel, I should say, as you can see here, this big building. Go in the second doorway. You're going to walk up to this monk who's next to this chest, press X on him, and you're going to offer to donate to the church. Now we're going to the inn in Darsov, not leaving Darsov at all. And we're going to the far right side to this person who runs the beds back here. And they'll say that there's a skeleton that's been terrorizing people. So we're going to start this mission, and we're just going to go to the far right of Darsov. So this is me having left Darsov and just moving to the right. I'm going to kill a couple enemies here. And then the skeleton will appear. This battle is pretty straightforward. You're going to want to hit him. He's going to do this jump attack, and then he's going to hit the ground, and a couple of those balls of fire are going to shoot out. Really wasn't necessary for me to jump onto that ledge, but that's a guaranteed way to not get hit. Really all you need to do is jump over the balls that are going to shoot to the side, and it's as easy as that. Still early game, so nothing too complicated is being thrown at us yet. And when you finish these quests, always make sure to turn them in. So now we're going to the Darsov garrison, and there's going to be two quests here. This guy up here is going to give us our first quest about some trouble on the road at the bridge. Now we're going to go down to the bottom to take this other quest. And this guy's going to talk about having a barn and being a farmer, and he wants you to help clear out the barn. And we're going to accept. So to do these quests, you're just going to want to travel below Darsov, and just below Darsov, on your way over to the very first castle where the end battle takes place. You will have to walk this way just to do the game. You'll come across this situation here. And this guy's going to try and bribe us, but we're on a good playthrough, so we need to take care of this. We have to fight them. And then this battle will start. We're just going to take this guy down really quickly. I just kept button mashing because that's what I like to do sometimes. Really should move forward like I decided to there. And it's as simple as that. Then we're going to make our way to the right a little bit. Past the very first boss area, which you can kind of see on the map in the upper right. And we'll see this barn here. We just need to go, I just try to kill people for some experience and money, but we're going to go into the barn. And this will trigger our little fight here. So what this guy is going to do is, this battle confused me for a little bit. I assumed at some point you're just going to keep taking down these zombies, but then they'll kind of slow down or stop, and you get a primary attack from this guy. And that's not true at all. He's literally just going to keep sending in these zombies. So what I started doing was, I wasn't really even killing them, as you can see. I just started hurtling over them as much as I could, and trying to rush this guy who was summoning them and killing them. So here we go, just rushing them as much as I can. I did have to use a health potion there, which is fine. They're free, so you might as well make use of them. There he is again, just trying to rush into him and hit him. And just be careful when you're making those jumps. You can see sometimes he gets really close to the zombies. And if I had jumped and tried to attack him, I would have just got hit by the zombies. So I'm taking my time. It's just a lot of mobs at once, so it's a bit of a lengthier fight, even though it's really not that hard. It's just kind of tedious at that point because it is a bit longer, but just take your time. Don't rush into them if it's going to mean you're going to get hit by those zombies. And the fight will be yours. But as you can see, the waves of zombies never stop. They just keep coming. So sometimes I just was taking down as many zombies as I could to lighten the amount of fighting I had to do. And then we can get a little bit closer to them. So this moment here, that was really nice where there was absolutely no zombies and I could just go for it. Disappears really quickly too, as you can see. I thought I was going to hit him there, but there's the boss fight. Mini boss fight, as I like to say. Now we're going to the bottom right of the map here, as you can see in the Arkov underpass. As you're going to come across this bandit camp. And we're just going to want to go past the bandit camp to this house on the right here. Which he'll also sell us an ability after you turn in this quest, so make sure you do that and get the ability. And he's going to ask us just to talk to those guys outside and deal with them, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going outside. Going to go talk to the head guy, which is Robert, which we'll see later in the game. And he's going to ask us to stay and drink with them, but we need to deal with them, so we're not going to drink with them. We're going to choose to expel them. And tell them to get out. Now that part's done. Now it's going to take a couple of boss battles. You're going to have to do 2 of them to gain access to Arkov, which is down to the right there a little bit. And we're going into the garrison, which is just to the right of the city. And we're going to go talk to this guy over here. And he's going to say his friend was sent out on patrol, who we have to go find. And then the other guard as well will give us a quest. Just like before, both guards have quests that we can do, and we can start them both. Turn them in at the same time. So we're just going ahead and collecting those quests. So now we're going just to the right. We're gonna, like, once you leave the Arkov town, we're gonna just keep going right past the garrison. Over a couple water wheels here. Once we go far enough to the right, we're still going over water wheels. You do have to go this way to get to the 3rd boss battle, down in Storheim Shores. But once you get far enough, you just automatically are triggered into this part. And you will need to have a potion for this. I always keep the health potions stocked up on me. If you don't, just go to an inn and get one and give it to him, and that will revive him. Or heal him, I should say. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually go back to Darsov for the 2nd quest, which is with Hans, which you might know from the Evil playthrough, or the achievement for making Hans talk a lot. And this is in the far right house in Darsov. And we can see him getting beat up by the cultists because he talks too much. And he really, really does, especially if you know the achievement where he constantly talks. So we're just going to go ahead and take these guys down. Talk to Hans. And it's just another way for us, because he likes to talk, and we're going to offer to protect him. But essentially we're getting the password to the first hideout to continue with this quest. And this first hideout is in Tohan Passage, just above Arkov, as you can see there, kind of in the top right area of this section. So we're going to make our way over. And you'll know because it's this big sort of castle looking thing, underground castle on the far right. And we know the password, so now we can get in. So you're going to talk to just everyone here, as you can see me doing, because we're just trying to gather some information. So talk to these guys. We're going to talk to the head honcho here, the high priest. And you'll see quest is updated for talking to the cultists. And just make sure, like I said before, to turn in those quests. But now we can go back to Arkov, as there's another quest that we're going to have there. And you want to turn it to nighttime, which you can use this ability Or you could sleep at the inn, or just wait for it to come nighttime. But while you're still in Arkos, after it's nighttime, you're going to make your way to the right here. And you're going to see this demon locked in a cage. And they're going to ask you to deal with it. So we're just going to walk up to him after all these different talking points, and we're going to have to kill him or try to reason with him. We're on a good playthrough, but you're actually going to want to have to burn him and not talk to him. If you talk to him, he starts killing villagers, and that's not good, of course. So they set him on fire, and it really doesn't feel super good because we're just absolutely torturing the demon, which doesn't seem right, but this is apparently the way to go in the ultimate good playthrough. And we're just going to sit here and literally watch him burn and be confused. And we're watching, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to walk up to him and just keep hitting the cage, and he will die in the middle of his ring. Now we're moving on to the bottom left of Arkos, as you can see here. Still in the same town, we're going to talk to this woman. And she's actually attached to the first guy we came across in the game, the guy that we tried to save, and he turned into a monster and we killed. She's going to ask us to go to Kastski, talk to a wizard to learn a spell to bring him back. First, we're going to go over here to the far left of Valshire, just below Darsov. I'm not going to do it, but you're going to want to break this wall and go into this house. Talk to this woman. She's going to ask you to clear the demon in her basement. You're going to agree, and then you need to clear the basement of the monster. Once you've done that, you need to go to the very first area where you killed the first monster. And there's this random standalone house here with a guy in it that's going to ask you to burn down the villages. You're going to select Never. And he's going to teleport you to this battle over here. Now this is my first battle. First time attempting this battle, I should say. And it didn't go very good, but as you can see, it lasted a long time, so it wasn't one of the harder battles in the game. And I wasn't sure exactly how to approach this, so I focused my efforts on this middle guy here. Or the main part of the body, I should say. And as you can see, these hands drop down a lot. They shoot fireballs towards the player, and they'll also resurrect these zombies. And you can see the fireball being launched there. What I didn't realize was a better strategy is actually going to be to start taking the hands out individually. As you can see, I start to do there, I start hitting the hands separately. If you can get rid of a hand, it'll just appear, then you'll have to deal with another hand, get rid of that hand, and you're only dealing with the main body part. And you can see too, he sort of flies around, flies into you, hits you, traps you in corners. It's really hard to get out of them because there's 3 pieces of his body kind of going at you at all times. So I really recommend focusing on the hands, trying to take them out. He's always above me, so I just did a lot of upwards attacks. But as you can see, I get hit quite a lot. There's 2 potions I had to use just to do this part. Another option is you could just fight some more bosses and then continue on with this playthrough after you've gotten some upgrades and some abilities and whatnot. Because I've already healed twice and used a potion. You can see me getting pretty close to the point where I'm holding a potion. And the boss is only half done at this point. And there's my last potion. But you can see in that upwards attack, I did end up hitting one of the hands to take them out. Although I really didn't have much health left, and I was getting very nervous. I did take out the hand, and this really changed the tides of the game for me. You can see there's only one more bar left, and you're at the point, well, I am at the point where I've beaten him and we're done with this part. Then I waited around for a few seconds, and we got teleported back to the house. The guy's gone, and we're done this part of the quest. Moving on to Kastski. This is after the 3rd boss battle in the bottom right of the map. It's up here in the top right, as you can see. We're going to enter this magic shop here where you would normally buy your familiar and an extra life. And this is the guy that's going to give you the resurrection words that we can see there. And he'll help us resurrect the guy in the starting area. So now I'm in the bottom right of this town. I haven't left the town at all. And this guy is going to ask us to help him with his sleep because he's having nightmares. And we need an elixir to start this, which is only one area of the map we will get afterwards. For now, we're going back to Darsov, as you can see circled here. And I'm actually just going to keep going through Darsov to the far left, and I'm going to walk through the town and out the left. And there will be a monk here, and he's going to ask us to help them with someone that's been possessed. I'm not going to show too much of it because this isn't a whole nother achievement with a whole nother guide, and this guide's going to be very long as it is. But now we're just moving right along past that monk, and you can see the exact path I'm taking. And this is the first time I've taken this path, and I'm going straight to the elixir, so that we can help the guy who's having nightmares. So we're still just moving along. You can see this house in the bottom left here. I get it up above it just to make sure I don't miss it. And in here we can buy potions from this person, and they offer the elixir. Make sure your potions aren't full and just get hit and use them if you have to. Buy one elixir for 50 coins. Then we're going to go straight back to Darsov so that we can help the man who's possessed. So we're just going to walk to the far left again. And this time we're going to enter the cathedral, which is right here. And we can see that there's some smoke and whatnot, and there's a possessed man just floating in the air. And what they're going to do is they're going to ask us to find a guy who's going to help with the exorcism. So we need to go find him. I believe they said his name there is Gregory, maybe. So he's in the bottom right of Tohan Passage. If you haven't gotten here before, you will have to fight a wolf to get here, and he's in this bottom right house. And I have a little bit more of an elaborate guide and another achievement, but there's Gregor. You couldn't talk to him before because he's trying to hurt himself, but now he's super pumped to help out. And we're going to go back to the castle, and he's going to perform this, or the cathedral. He's going to perform this exorcism, and that will be another quest completed for us. We're just waiting here for them to wrap up. A lot of dialogue in this game, a lot of things to talk through. And there we are. Now we're going back to Kastski. It's in the upper right area here. This is where we started the quest with the sleeping guy that we're going to go back to. He's in the house in the bottom right of the town. I keep trying to talk to him, keep missing there, but we're going to talk to him. We're going to enter the dreamscape. Like the last one, this is also an achievement, so there's a whole guide on how to get the achievement for beating the dreamscape, so we're not going to go through that. But now we're going to go to the outside of Kastski. We're just on the outside on the right. There's a little house here next to the garrison. And this lady's going to ask us for some help with a skeleton problem to the right of town. You see the house there that we need to go to. So we're going to the far right of town. There's this house here that we're going to enter, and we're going to go find the skeleton in the house. And it's literally just straight to the right of Kastski. There's no going up, down, it's just straight to the right. And here's the skeleton in the basement. And he's going to ask us to spare him or slay him. And we're going to slay him because we need to get rid of this problem here. And there it is. There's this friend who we're going to have to go find later because he's part of another achievement. Or another part of this quest, you should say. And then you just have to escape this burning building. And I don't know if there's a better way to perhaps do it. I'm truly guessing you can't touch the fire. You just kind of jump over like I did. Avoid those fires, avoid those balls of dripping fire from the ceiling. I never touched them, so I cannot confirm. Don't believe I touched them. I just kept dodging them to get around them. But I mean, you can have some, like this health thing prepared to beat it. So now we're going to go track down the skeleton friend. He's in the top left of Kajanto Peak, as you can see there on the map. And he's over here where this wizard is. The wizard will talk about a trap, and we just need to quickly kill him. He's got a similar attack to a lot of fights in this game, where he's just going to do a ground pound and just this regular attack, as you can see here. So when he does this, just jump over it, and when he does his regular attack, just back up, like I do. And I try to get him off the edge of the map, just in case he dropped coins, they weren't going out of the screen. And pretty easy. We kill him. We're gonna open this guy's cage and talk to him, and he's gonna upgrade our crow to a dove, which can also be upgraded later to 2 doves. Now we're moving on to the shores of Appel here, and I just quickly save and get ready for this battle. And this is the starting area where we fought that very first boss, and we're just going to use the wizard spell to start this boss battle. You'll see that I use a couple of abilities really quick just to get prepared for the battle and bring them in. I could have probably used some other ones, but this was at least some sort of ability, which was good. And there's the spell, and we're starting up the boss battle. So with this boss battle, you'll see that he breathes fire right there. You can see him winding up to breathe fire. If you stand a little bit back from his head, there's kind of this sweet spot where you can dodge, like he'll shoot the fire over you, but if you get too close to him, like he'll bump into you and hurt you. Like crouching down probably would have happened. I'm not sure why I never did that, but I'm sure that would have helped. And there is that sweet spot. You can just back up if you need to though. Then you can see he drops maggots from the ceiling there, and you'll find that your follower really helps with that, because they take them out nice and quick and you don't have to worry about them. And otherwise, what you're going to do is you're just going to want to hit that front chest area that's orange and lit up, and just be wary of him approaching forward and bumping into you. So you see that the followers take those maggots out really quick, which is super helpful for me. And then there's the fire breathing. I'm trying to find that sweet spot, as you can see here. I'm standing a bit back from his face, but it really wasn't going well for me, and I probably should have been ducking. I'm sure that would have helped. And then you just run up and hit him some more. And then once I get hit, you've got this like small period of invincibility after you get hit, so I just kind of will go for it, rush him, and try to hit him as much as I can to maximize what I'm doing at this point. A couple things dropped from the ceiling, just take those out. Go in for some final hits. There, C still can't find the sweet spot, and I assure you it does work. I was just having no luck with it. Even here too, where he's so close to being dead and I couldn't do anything about it. So he's on the ceiling. We're just going to kill a couple more of these maggots, wait for him to drop back down. And there's the final blow, literally one hit away. And that's another piece of the puzzle done. It's a pretty tough fight, but you do have to do it to move on. And then what we're going to do after this fight is we're going to go back to Darsov. And this second building here from the far right, you'll see this lady, she'll ask you to help her husband. And I kind of screwed this up and didn't get the proper recording, but you'll have to go down here into this building, and he'll be standing here, and you want to hit him with this ability that I'm showing you right here. This long range magic attack, you hit him with it, he'll unlock that door back there, you can pick up the potion, and then you go back and the quest is completed. And now we're going to move on to Kastski. And that's in the upper area here. We're going into the soldier garrison, which is on the right side of town. You can kind of tell by the minimap where it is. And now we've done enough good favors that we're going to talk to the captain, and he's going to ask us to help tank Red. So Tancred's back in Darsov. You can see I just teleported straight there. And we walk over to the far right. I got some abilities ready and everything. And here's Tancred. He's that guy in the orange right there. And he's prepared for a battle that we're going to join him on. So you can see that things are starting up. It didn't occur to me that perhaps for an achievement you could let him, for the achievement for letting him win all these fights, which you'll see in this playthrough that I do, he could, like, he's fighting here, so it didn't occur to me to let him do the fight and I help out. It won't stop you from getting that achievement later on, if you're going for that as well, which would be a good idea in this playthrough. There's a lot of achievements that you can get in this one playthrough. And so I took up the forces, we're going to talk to him a little bit. So he wants us to fortify an area. From what I read online, fortifying Kastski is a safe bet. You'll guaranteed get the ultimate good. I don't see why not. Doing either or would make a difference. I did Kastski and it was a guaranteed ultimate good playthrough. But if you fortify Darsov, there'll be a battle of Darsov and it'll actually help you with that battle. So take your pick, but do Kastski if you want to absolutely guarantee no matter what you get the ultimate good playthrough, because that's what I did and it does work. So now we're going into the Darsov garrison. We're going to the far back underground part, however you want to call it, and Tancred's going to be here. And now we're going to start up that mission where they're going to assault Darsov. Like I said, I didn't fortify Darsov, so if you do, you'll have a lot more soldiers helping you, from my understanding, or at least some extra, which I didn't. So there's Tancred. He's overlooking the battle. And we're just going to start fighting. There's going to be a couple waves of these, so I find this long range attack really helps. You don't have to get near anyone, you can just fight them. But it's not a super hard battle, as you can see. Just a lot of those thrown axes, if you ever struggle with those. I'm just staying away from them, don't have to even deal with them. Here's the second wave. We're going to just take out some more enemies. Like I tried to do, I'm just staying back, letting them do their thing. If you get a little, like, just close enough, you can also reflect those throwing axes back, which would help, which I tried to do here. That first one was a little high though, but I start reflecting it back because I ran out of that long distance ability and it worked well. Really no point in starting up there towards the end of the battle when there's only a couple more enemies. I wanted to wait until there was a fresh wave because it does expire eventually. Something I screwed up here, I wasn't really sure what I was thinking. I focused on the ground troops, but you can see that the flying troops probably have more of an immediate threat. Except maybe for that spear guys, you can see a spear coming. But these flying guys have a lot of these attacks. I mean, you can just jump up and do a couple hits. That guy died in 2 hits. Like, it was pretty quick. Not sure why I wasn't doing that sooner. And it really didn't occur to me. Like, I was really trying to range him, and then it occurred to me, like, why not just run at him and hit him? And that's when you can see he dies there. Here's another sort of wave coming. I like how my magic attacks just kind of hit him and dud him, like nothing happens at all. For this, I wasn't sure what to do. You're just going to want to stand back, let the soldiers do their thing, let them approach you. And voila! Don't even have to fight them. The rest of the army will just flee. Wasn't sure what I was thinking there. I was like, oh, okay, that's it, Link. that is it for that fight. They just run away and Tancred kind of chirps them a little bit. And we can move on with the ultimate good playthrough. So we're back with Tancred in the Darsov garrison, as you can see here. We've just finished that mission to protect the cultists. So I'm actually going to go ahead and talk to him again. And what he's going to do is he's going to ask us to infiltrate the 3 evil bases. And if you've done the evil ultimate playthrough, you will know these bases. Threw me off that he was saying battle there for a second, but no, it is the 3 bases we're going to go after. So the first one we've already been to, but I'll give a refresher. We're at Tohan Passage, and it's just above Arkov in the upper right. And so I'm going to do something funny in this one. Like I said, there's an achievement for letting Tancred do all the work, and that's what I'm showing in this playthrough, because that's what I did when doing my ultimate good playthrough. So you're going to let them attack. Now that they're in, I'm actually just going to run away. And you can go in, you can fight, it's not a big deal either. But I ran away and came back, and I actually thought just being a jerk like this would wreck the ultimate playthrough, and it doesn't. And this will get you another achievement. So I go in, he's fought everyone, he's kind of ticked off, like what the heck, and can you blame him? We're supposed to be helping, and we just didn't. And he takes off to the second hideout. And this hideout's in Mount Kastski. It's kind of sort of halfway between both those teleportation areas. So take your pick, make your way to it. It's up here. We're gonna start this again. Where we're gonna talk to them. We're gonna let them attack. And to let Tancred do all the work, from what I understand, you do have to leave the screen. You don't have to teleport. You don't have to go far away. You don't have to take long. I just go off screen and go right back. And again, this one has a bad effect. Like, this guy dies here. I don't know if that would have happened otherwise. But to me, this seems like a bad thing I did. You think it might tank my ultimate good playthrough, but it doesn't. Even though we just basically are the reason someone died. Tancred's ticked, but this is where you'll get that achievement if you do it like this. Mine didn't pop until after I left the building. Like how Tancred's leaving, I followed him out, and that's when I got the achievement. But now, as you can see, we're on to Kajanto Peak, which is in the upper right here. It's to the right of where we fought that bigger skeleton. But this time, Tancred's not going to give you a choice. It's going to tell you you're going in first. That's fine, just go ahead and fight everyone. See, there it is, you go first. Okay. I have to. So we're just going to quickly take them out. This is kind of neat, because we helped make this guy appear in the ultimate evil playthrough. But he's just going to kind of do that on his own. And I thought I was just doing that lightning storm there, just doing something to attack, but really he just has this big swing. You need to step back and you can take him pretty easily. As you see there, done and done. Now we take out the last guy. And there we go. This guy's still sort of alive here, so we're going to go and interrogate him. He's going to tell us where Robert is. Robert, you'll remember, is one of those guys who asked us to drink at that camp. He's a big part of both the evil and good quest line. So we're going to go find him, bottom left of the map, Combleton Cemetery. Now this door will be open. It wasn't before. It only opens in the ultimate good or ultimate evil playthrough. So just save. I got some abilities ready just to... You'll want to use the long range, and I'll show you why in a minute. So just letting this dialogue play. Now he starts turning people into skeletons. You're going to find that you're kind of just stuck in the middle of this room for a while, and there's skeletons coming from each direction. And I used the long range attack. I don't know what it'd be like if you didn't. I mean, you could probably let a lot of them appear and strike lightning on them. That would help a lot. But you can see here, I'm just wiping it out pretty easily with my followers and with these in long range. And that was it. I just wanted to clean up the gold, get some more stuff. I hate the guards when they drag the gold behind you. I really wish that was a feature of theirs. And you're gonna threaten them, but you kill them. And there it is. Now you have to grab his ultimate book here as part of the playthrough. This should get you another achievement, prying the book from his cold dead hands. I would think it would work on the evil playthrough, but it didn't for me. So this one did give it to me though, so it should give it to you. And I'm going to try and pronounce whatever that book's called, the Nemicron or something. There we go, Robert's File Book. We'll just call it that. So now we're going to the first place that we visited where we started finding those seals. It's right there on the map. Gonna open the door, a lot of stuff's gonna come rushing out. Just a lot of ghosts or souls or whatever this is, whatever that represents. Just kind of looks cool. And we're going to go in, and if you've played a playthrough before, you'll see this. I gotta make my way over a little bit. Maybe I should, before I start talking about it. This is kind of funny. I didn't realize you have to kill these guys. Because in the other one, they kind of bow down to you when you're doing that Ultimate Evil playthrough. But now you'll come across this guy who you would normally fight as part of a regular playthrough. And I wasn't sure what to expect. Like, we're super good, so what are we fighting? Because you still fight someone in the evil playthrough. And it's just this evil monster is gonna kill this guy and drag him to hell or wherever we're going. And we're gonna follow him through. And this part actually is super long. A lot of boss fights. I'm not gonna show like everything. I'll show you some of the boss fights. Just to give you an idea of what you're gonna be up against, because this was the hardest area. Really big pain. So we got this one. This one's a pretty easy one. He's got that same attack as other people typically. He's got the downward strike that turns into fire, shooting side to side. Just a bit of a longer trail. And then he's got this sideways attack with the fire. So you can see it's pretty easy to dodge once you know what you're looking for. At 1 health, and I really was not that concerned. And there's the first, it says boss. I say big boss because it's not like a big boss. And these are not in quick succession, like it's gonna look in my game. This, I believe, is the order you'd have to come across them in. And this is where it starts to get tricky. You'll start to fight 2 at once. And these ones gave me a heck of a time because they're kind of floating around and sort of waving up and down, just dopping around. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. They're just kind of moseying around, and they both kind of get in each other's way. Well, they're not getting each other's way. Like they're stepping in front of the other. You can't really attack one because the other one's just kind of like floating about doing his thing. This is your best chance for an attack. You'll probably know this from another boss battle. Just jump over those fireballs, and you know, want to hit his stomach when it opens. You can see the stomach. See, this is where one of the guys is going to block the other one. And he lets you get one hit, and then he switches it up. Really big pain in the butt. Lengthy battles. You can see it's already been a while. We're only down 2 hearts. Just take your time. Don't try to rush it, because these guys are really irritating. But as soon as you can get 1 out, which is the best part, like once you kill one, then the other one, it's a lot easier when one's not distracting you from trying to kill the other one. But those are your chances when those fireballs are shooting or when they open up to expose those eyes. The thing is, though, there is a statue in this castle. I believe it'll be sometime after this battle, so don't stress too much, like depending on what you have to use, like potions, healing, mana, whatever. What I ended up doing is I was using potions for this battle, and I believe the next one, and I ended up leaving the castle, going and buying the elixir in Gajanto Peak for both health and mana, and then I used that. I got those 5 potions, and I used that moving forward in this area, because you can't leave and come back. It's just kind of a pain because the area is hard to traverse. But yeah, so much time I can talk about that, and we're still fighting this boss. And you saw when I was talking, there was that one attack where he kind of flies up in the air and those sporadic fireballs rain down on you. Not much you can do. You can't really attack back. Just try to dodge those as best you can, but like I said, this battle's really tedious, big pain. I think it was probably one that I struggled on the most. Maybe the next battle I did struggle on. The end battle, surprisingly, was one of my easiest. But this was definitely, I think, the most tedious, time-consuming, pain-in-the-butt battle that there was. Not much else to say about that. Just gotta play through this really, and there we go. One's it down, so it got a lot easier. When you're having to deal with one, you can just focus on the other. And I still managed to screw up there, as you can see, and hit something. But we got them, and we're able to move on to the next, well, to the rest of the area, but then to the next boss battle. This part kind of freaked me out a little bit here. The jump's pretty easy, but it looked intimidating at first. Just something to be mindful of. You can see I'm coming off of death here, which I thought was good sometimes. You just die, refresh your stats, your health, your mana, whatever, and get ready for a battle. So this one I felt, oh yeah, this was the worst. This was one of the worst. So I felt a long range mana attack would help here. Or my long range, just my long range attack, I should say. As you can see, you kind of hit them from a long range. Staying in the middle, that poison attack won't really affect you. What did hit me for a while that I was kind of getting a hard time with is that right there where they switch spots. I just duck it. I was trying to jump. That being so much easier. The thing I would stress about this battle is I was never changing directions, which was the thing with these battles is you want to target one as best you can because it's so much easier to fight one instead of two. So when they switch spots, change your attacks. You're still fighting the exact same one. If you start with the one on the left and he teleports to the right, start shooting him on the right now. The exact same guy. Take him out as quick as you can. Get yourself down to one boss. You can see it's much easier now, much less going on. These little guys really drove me nuts though. They were a hard part of this battle too for me because they're just so sporadic whenever a lot of other stuff's going on. But it is what it is. Now we're at another battle here, which really mimics one other battle we had. You can see the eyeballs in the middle of the chest. You have to hit that sweet spot when attacking. You can see that he'll stick his hand out and he'll make like a fire appear right in front of him. So just stand back from that and avoid that. And you'll just want to, it's not too bad to just try and keep attacking while dodging these, whatever you want to call them, these tentacles going across the screen. I just wasn't super accurate because I was really focused on dodging them. Usually I can get hits or shots off in between. Sometimes, then a lot of them start coming like this, and then I eat my own words because I did terribly. But same sort of advice as before, try to focus on one as best you can. If you notice there's one even hitting a lot more, try to take it out. They both ended up being taken out around the same time for me, so it didn't really matter. Same sort of jump here and grab the key. Like I said, lots of boss fights, big pain in the butt in this level, or in this area. The Ultimate Good playthrough was worse than the Ultimate Evil one I found. So this one you can see he'll drop himself, and he'll slam into the ground and bricks will fall. And it's actually harder to dodge these ones than earlier battles. Just try your best. I try to stay low, and then when he starts pulsing like that, I try to jump up because he discharges that beam that'll do damage. That one there I probably should have ducked because he was a little high at that point. Then he's also got these fireballs that he shoots out. I think I died maybe once. This battle wasn't definitely an easier one compared to the others. Yeah. Moving on to another boss fight. This one's a lot easier. You can see I was kind of in the last level beforehand, so I wasn't even respawning. I only have 4 hearts coming into this. He's one of those big guys that just swings and you have to kind of step back from him. Kind of similar to stuff we've fought before, until that really threw me off. I wasn't expecting that. Kind of a long, he's got a lot of, he can hit you from pretty far away. But not a lot of health, as you can see, taking out nice and quick. And there's another one down. Should have counted. We have what, 5 or 6 now or something. And here we are. The last boss fight. He looks intimidating. I mean, he also looks like the developers were just messing around with his looks and just how to field day and seeing what they could add to this game. You'll notice that he did a jump attack right away. The first time I fought him, it wasn't right away. But he takes up the side platforms to try and stand in the middle. Because he jumps side to side, and that's a majorly damaging attack. The first time I played, he went into the background and was doing things we couldn't attack him. And then he just didn't this battle. So I just started dodging those eyes, letting my familiars take them out, and just attacking them from a distance. And as you can see, that was a really easy boss fight. Compared to all the ones with, basically the ones with double enemies. Then this one's much easier. And there you have it. Game completed, ultimate good playthrough done, I should say, because I thought here is going to maybe come back at me because he was alive for a second. But no, just very gruesome, crazy freaking death. Just jump up into this portal, and you're done. That's it. So good luck, have fun.